Hello friends, James Stevenson back with another fresh episode of James and Loki's Gems of the Week. Oh, I just missed a Loki yawn. Loki was yawning in bed just a second ago. This is the series in which Loki and I go through all the posts that we liked on X of the previous week and talk about why we liked them. Let's just, without further ado, jump right into it. Here is the last tweet that I liked from last week. From Teslatino, this is Raphael, ready to take delivery after they finish inspecting it with a magnifying glass. So that was a fun one last week. What tweets have I liked since? Well, the first one is from really the only person I make videos for. That is Howie in Washington, H.W. Feinstein on X. This video about Tesla Q was made for me, /S, for sarcasm. Well, is it sarcasm really, though? If I'm making them only for you, Howie, is it truly sarcasm? But I wanted to share with the rest of the community. The sad part is some of the Q community are probably good people. It's odd that they hate Elon and Tesla so much. It's super odd, right? It makes sense that people who are fans of Tesla would want to tell people about it. That's normal, right? It's normal for fans of a sports team or a celebrity or an actor or a musician to talk about it, right? Because that's something that they love. People get together and talk about things that they love. It's strange to spend all of your time obsessing over a stock you don't want to invest in. Like, that's weird. That's weird that a lot of people do that. But if you didn't see this video, check out my timeline for it. This is one of two videos Brian and I recorded together. He published them both to his YouTube channel, but he only posted to X about one of them, so this is the other one. Wanted to make sure people saw it if they're not on YouTube. Here's this one from Earl of Front Puppy at 28 delays later. Somebody I've been hanging out with for a long time, who said, I will repost anyway to last week's episode of James and Loki's Gems of the Week. Possibly because of the extra Breakfast with Loki content you got last week, where Loki was extra cute. Here he is running over to enjoy his food. Oh yeah, that's right, Loki. You see yourself eating food last week? Yes? We got twice the Loki-ception going on here. We also have very different hairstyles for me. My hair was still wet a week ago when I recorded this video, so I've got a lot of fluff happening at this point. So I asked, even though still only my subscribers will see it, and he said, yep. And I said, maybe now more of them will see it in their timelines, please, please, please. Now that I've gotten Earl to amplify my subscriber-only post with a retweet. All right, what else do we have here? Maybe some non-meta content. Here's one from Elon Musk. SpaceX just achieved peak download speed of 17 megabytes per second from satellite direct to unmodified Samsung Android phone. That sounds pretty good to me. I'm not a data transfer speed expert, but 17 megabytes per second seems like a lot. Here's one from Elon Alerts. Elon Musk liked a post from James Stevenson. Which one? Well, it was this one. Standalone post here. Breaking. The formerly nonprofit OpenAI has once again changed its name from the more fitting Open for Business If You Got Cash AI to the even more accurate Open Secret subsidiary of Microsoft AI, Awesome AI for short. Awesome pronounced awesome. For anybody who didn't catch my fun Awesome Blossom, To Right Mate, Fair Dinkum. God rest Steve Irwin's soul. You never know if you can post a GIF about Steve Irwin, but I say yes. I fall on the yes side of that. Let's keep the memory of Steve Irwin alive. Here's one from Kathy Kitchler, at Kathy Kitchler. Tesla bought $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin back in February 2021, and the mainstream media had a field day. Why is that a reply? Well, let's take a look. It was a reply to my video where I asked, has Tesla ever spent $6 billion on anything before? Any one thing? That's what the plaintiff's lawyers want in the Elon Musk compensation case in Delaware. And Kathleen St. Jude McCormick, the presiding judge, may be nuts enough to award it to them. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. I mean, it's absurd on many levels. One of those levels is that Kathleen St. Jude McCormick wrote, in her opinion on her ruling, that the 71 billion or 55 billion, there's a couple of different ways you can classify it, payday for Tesla, that Tesla wanted to award Elon Musk that she rescinded, was orders, plural, of magnitude too high. Well, if it was orders, plural, of magnitude too high, and it was either 55 or $71 billion, then orders, plural, would mean that the right amount of high would have been less than 1 billion. If I'm doing my math correctly, I think I am. So it would be pretty absurd if she were to award 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 times as much money to the plaintiff's lawyers who did nothing to benefit Tesla or its shareholders at all. Elon Musk inarguably enriched shareholders by growing the value of the shares they purchased prior to his 2018 CEO Performance Award going into effect over the past 6 years. All right, here's one from me. No, we already saw that one. Up we go to this post from Brian White, FutureAza, formerly My Tesla Weekend, at FutureAza. Don't forget the E in future. Back with James about why we take the high road even when we know the identities of the anonymous haters and fudsters. This is that same video we just saw where we did an interview together. Brian says, when I say we, I mean James, because even off channel, I didn't ask him to divulge and he didn't offer. Yeah, so I know some of the secret identities of some of the Tesla fudsters, and I don't tell people because that's doxing, and doxing is wrong, as I mentioned in the video here. Here's one from WholeMars's catalog. Ah, no. Oh, that's the inside of his sink. That's not his new Cybertruck all scratched up. No, that's the inside of his stainless steel sink at home. It's pretty funny. Here's one from Danielle X. We saw a tweet from her last week with her mom picking up her brand new Model 3. Here she is tweeting a video of her mom driving her in the new Model 3. Love the interior ambient lighting. She didn't know how to use her maps at first, so she had her phone maps out. I showed her how to use Tesla maps. Yeah, Tesla maps are great, and people who are new to Tesla may be used to using their phone to give them turn-by-turn directions or maps or what have you. It's good to let new Tesla owners know that there is a much better map application built into their Tesla's display, and that all you have to do is give a voice command saying where you want to go, and your Tesla will automatically find that destination, plot the shortest route to that location in current traffic using, traffic info that it's got. And if you have FSD on your Tesla, you just click your stalk and it will drive you there. And you will supervise. Pay attention, always be prepared to take over at any time if your FSD should encounter a situation it doesn't know how to handle. Here's one from Arash Malik at Minimal Duck. The Cybertruck pulling 8,000 pounds out of water like it's nothing, uphill at a boat ramp. So tagging the kilowatts. And Navier boat. Navier than what? We don't know. Probably Navier is how that's pronounced. I'm not sure, but that's kind of a fun flying boat it does as it's doing 40 knots across the water, I guess. It is up out of the water. The whole hull is raised up out of the water on, I guess, pontoons or something. I don't know how it works. Electric boat. Here's one from Jeff Lutz. I know this is common in California, but not 30 miles outside of Chicago in the burbs on a random weekend morning. I'm in a Model X, 4 Model 3s or Ys right in front of me, and 1 out of frame in the left turn lane. So basically I could see a total of 12 cars around me, and 6 of them were Teslas. Amazing. So I had a situation earlier today, the day that I'm recording, where I passed a car that then had 3 Model 3s in front of it, 1 in each lane. So that's fun to think about that Kia owner's experience, seeing 3 Tesla Model 3s in front of them, hopefully thinking, huh, that car seems popular, maybe I should test drive one. Here's one from EdgeCase at EdgeCase411. Wow, if you were not thoroughly impressed by this, I don't know what to tell you. Double lane crazy roundabout FSD 12.2.1 6 takes all 100. Just listen to my voice, how confused I was about what was going on. Glad to have my local guide, Teslius, keep me calm while FSD dominated. 6 takes. Alright, so I guess he went through this roundabout 6 times and was impressed by how well FSD handles roundabouts. It is way, way better than it was a couple of years ago, for sure. FSD was not great with roundabouts. Here's one from Rebellionaire. This may be the same video or a similar kind of video. Oh no, this was a totally different one. This is a right-hand turn and then merging across 5 lanes to the left, which you can see happen in this video right now. One, two, three, four, five, all the way across to the far left lane, and almost made this light, but stopped prudently. Impressing executive producer of this program, Bradford Ferguson, at Brad S. Ferguson on X, or at Rebellionaire, as shown here. Bradford Ferguson owns Rebellionaire.com. Here's a tweet I liked from Elon Alerts. Elon Musk liked a post from James Stevenson, that's me. I just retweeted that, saying FSD beta version 12 with the eyes emoji. Hey, check it out. That's really all I needed to say there. Here's another one I liked. Elon Musk liked a post from Alexandra Mertz. Tesla Boomer Mama on X. Please give me 3 minutes of your attention. Thank you. Hashtag Delaware Court 81. So this was just the plea for people to write letters to Kathleen St. Jude McCormick to ask her to do her job properly. I don't know. Be nicer than I just was if you write a letter to Delaware Court 81. Here's one from Sawyer Merritt. Jay Leno on the new Model 3. This feels almost as good as my Model S at more than half the price. Actually, it's almost a third of the price. I think my Plaid was $130,000 when I got it. It's a little cheaper now, I guess. So Lars and Franz are in the car here with Jay Leno, driving around the new Model 3, the refreshed Model 3. Some people call it the Highland Model 3. It is not an official name for this product. But Sawyer Merritt retweeting Sawyer Merritt. So
Plaid was $130 when I got it. I mean, a little cheaper now, I guess.
Yeah, we've been really trying to bring prices down, so Plaid's cheaper now, like you said. But I mean, we always want to just give people the best experience we can at the price we can make.
It's not bring prices down and bring the experience down too. Right. We want to have the best experience for the best price.
All right, good video there. Here's another one from Sawyer that I liked. News. EVs made up a record 9.6% market share in February in Australia, above the previous record of 8.8% in June of last year. Tesla led the way in EV sales with its new Model 3 becoming the best-selling passenger car in the month, outpacing the Toyota RAV4. So the death of the Tesla Model 3 has been greatly exaggerated. Here's another one from Rebellionaire with James Dalma in the car experiencing FSD version 12, FSD beta version 12 for the first time. How does it do versus version 11 in tricky spots near Pasadena, California, where James lives. And great commentary in that video. It's too long a video for me to play, as you can see. There's still 10 minutes of runtime left on this video from this point, but I think I retweeted that one. Here's another one from Brian. Hey James, did you see I changed my logo to a picture of my big dumb mug? I was told it was a wise branding move, but it remains to be seen. Not my mug, everyone can see that. The other thing, whether or not it's a good branding move, to leave your image alone for your profile pic. Yes, that's my advice to folks, is don't radically change branding on how people recognize you. People don't have a lot to associate with you, and there's thousands of people on X. So if there is a memory in people's minds of who you are, leave that in place. Don't keep changing it. Or people will lose track of who you are in a sea of similar people. Here's one from Dave Lee at HeyDave7. Great seeing James Dalma commentary on FSD 12. So if you haven't seen any of the videos with Dave Lee and James Dalma, go check those out. James Dalma brings machine learning down to the common man's parlance. Here's one from Sandy Monroe at Teardown Titan. Excited to take delivery of my Cybertruck. It's so funny to see somebody drape black cloth over a Cybertruck. Gee, I wonder what kind of car is under that drape. What could it be at that angle? Maybe it's this vehicle pictured just to the right here. But really glad whatever Tesla store this is did a good job putting Sandy Monroe's Cybertruck behind velvet ropes and stanchions with a welcoming sign to let him know that is your Cybertruck, Sandy. I bet additional care was taken with the 2 Cybertrucks Sandy Monroe took delivery of. One to keep and use as a daily driver, one to tear down to the last nuts, bolts, spare parts, and rear view mirrors. Yeah, there you go. Monroe Live at live_Monroe. If you're not following them on X, it's happening. And tagging at Cybertruck. Yeah, so there's that reveal moment. What's it gonna be? Oh, it's a Cybertruck. It looks good. Nice and shiny. So Sandy's happy. And I'm happy Sandy has a Cybertruck. He has had a chance to drive one around. As I walked into the building at Tesla's Austin Gigafactory for my first experience at any Tesla facility, really, Sandy Monroe came right past me driving a Cybertruck and parked it right there. All right, this next tweet that I liked came from K10, who I saw at that same event at Kristen Netton. The Vulcan group, classified as left-wing extremist, has committed itself to an attack on the power supply near the Tesla factory near Berlin as a protest against the U.S. car manufacturer. We sabotaged Tesla today, the group said in a letter. The Brandenburg police assume arson, and the State Security Office of the State Criminal Police Office began the investigation. So if any of this sounds repetitive or wordy, it's because it's a translation from German. Source Tagesschau. And I am not going to read this thing to you because I don't speak German. And those of you who do speak German are like, yes, James, we know. We just heard you try, and you're terrible. So here we see the Polizei looking around at the scene of the crime where, yeah, sabotage, nothing else you can call it, intentional by this locally based terrorist group, I guess. So, yeah, doesn't really make sense that they would that Tesla is the company they would target, right? If you really care about the environment, why are you stopping Tesla in its mission? Like, there must be better targets for you to find if your message is pro-environment. The worst people on Earth can't, in your estimation, be the people who work at the Tesla factory in Grünheide. That doesn't make any sense. Here's one from James Locke at Architect Inc. Honestly, I've lost count. Let's click through here and see what he's talking about. Well, it's a thread begun by Tesla saying Model Y starts at $36,490 after federal tax credit for eligible buyers. Book a demo drive to try it with a link to tesla.com/drive in this fun video of a Tesla Model Y with some longhorns attached to the top of the frunk. This reply came from Kat Benjamin at KB_Katie, Katey. Do they start or charge in cold weather? No? FO then. Oh, see, that's not great. With a screenshot of some dumb article about a guy whose battery died when it was cold outside. Well, people's batteries die all the time. This is the 12-volt battery. Every car can have a 12-volt battery go dead, right? It just so happened that it was very cold when this guy's 12-volt battery went dead, and he needed to call out Tesla service to jumpstart his battery or whatever, right? So I replied, tagging James Locke, Arctech Inc. has driven his Tesla to and from Hay River, Northwest Territories multiple times, so perhaps you should consider the possibility that you have been misinformed. If you don't know where Hay River, Northwest Territories, Canada is, I have provided a graphic for you. So here's San Diego, here's Los Angeles, here's San Francisco, here's Portland, Seattle, Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And then if you go twice as far as that, from San Diego to Vancouver, then you'll be at Hay River, Northwest Territories, Canada. Almost to the Arctic Circle is how far James Locke drives his Tesla Model S a few times per year. So yeah, he replied, hitting the road Monday to do this very drive from LA. I replied, you're not worried it won't start? How many round trips will this make? And that's when he said he's lost count. Tesla vehicles are the most reliable vehicles I've ever owned in extreme cold. Driven the S3 and X up north with no issues since 2016. I'm going to retweet this. That's such a good tweet. I'm just going to breathe that out into the world and let people see that great tweet from James Locke. All right, here's one from James Dalma. It's just a James parade at this moment. V12 is going to be over 100x reduction in interventions compared to V11. This is not an incremental upgrade, it's a leap forward. Thanks to Bradford for giving me a chance to experience V12 path planning and control. It's impressively better than V11, and I predict that most FSD users are going to find the new system to be dramatically less burdensome, annoying, and scary to use. The degree to which V12 accurately mimics human driving behaviors is startling, and Tesla's ability to capture the good behaviors without the bad ones is better than I expected for such an early release. Truly impressive. This is so good that I wonder if the AP team might not shift development approach. Up until now, big improvements have required big changes, but the range of behaviors that are being effectively implemented with E2E end-to-end path planning and control suggests to me that they can get the rest of the way to better than humans solely on top of more and better data and training. Congratulations to Tesla's AP team, impressive work. So I'll fill in some of the blanks here, which is something I can hardly ever do with James Dalma's thoughts and opinions, so I'm taking my chance now to capture the good behaviors without the bad ones. So this is something James Dalma knows, but didn't include here. I'll just add quickly that, hey, you remember the safety score? Remember when you had to get your safety score to be able to get FSD beta downloaded to your car instead of just regular autopilot? Even if you bought FSD, you didn't always get FSD beta. You had to earn it with a high safety score. Well, that's how you get the good behaviors without the bad ones, right? You box out the bad ones by keeping people with low safety scores out of your training data set, right? And you continue scoring people even after they have the FSD beta, and you see which behaviors were safer, which behaviors resulted in less front collision warnings, right? Which behaviors resulted in fewer side collision warnings, right? And then you look at only those drivers who were the safest, and you train based on their behavior. And that's how you get mimicry of human driving behaviors that capture the good behaviors without the bad ones. Does it err on the side of conservatism? Yes. If you're trying to get your wife to the hospital and she's in labor, would you prefer that they had modeled it after Randy Pobst? Yes, probably, but his driving behaviors are not safe. Or the speeds at which he takes corners when he's racing on a controlled racetrack are not the speeds that anybody ought to be driving on public roads. So that's how. Is what I would add on, just a little bit of James Stevenson commentary to go with James Dalma. Elon said, thanks, that is an accurate assessment. Training compute is currently our limiting factor, but that issue is being resolved fast. Resolved how? Resolved by buying more compute. Tesla is getting more chips in to add to their neural net training. Here's one from Mark Anthony. Alert, I am currently being impersonated. Started off flattered, then amused, now genuinely concerned. If you come across this account, kindly block and report. I'm a verified user on X. Thank you, James, for bringing this to my attention. Your kindness is greatly appreciated. Let's bring attention to this issue on X, at Elon Musk. If you don't know why I was strangely emphasizing your kindness here, it's because Mark Anthony drove me around Austin for free as a chauffeur from the Tesla event through to the after party event in Austin, even though I was feeling really sick. Like, he took me back to his Airbnb and let me lay down and rest for a couple of hours and got me some Pedialyte to drink. And I kind of blew a lot of the time that he had in Austin with a lot of folks by needing him to detour. So he's a heck of a nice guy driving me around town in his Model Y that he had driven to the event. So thanks, Mark. And the happy resolution to this you will see in a future tweet. Here's one from Robert Scoble. Cybertruck in Tesla's R&D parking lot is sick. I gave this one a retweet because look at the color changing effect on that paint. Is it purple? Is it blue? Yes, depending on where you are. Where you are, which direction you're looking at it. Yeah, so from an off angle, it's purple, and from a more direct angle, it's blue. That's pretty sweet. It reminded me of the Your Average Consumer Tesla Model S custom light purple. A really cool opalescent purple color Tesla Model S. Here's one from Rebellionaire. On the way to a meeting, FSD V12 surprised us by finding parking near our destination. So I guess they were someplace where it's hard to find street parking, and their Tesla just cruised right into an open street parking spot around the corner on a street they weren't even going to drive on. But I guess the Tesla wanted to see if there was parking available there and found it and parked them. So yeah, you can't have a robotaxi until your car is good at not obstructing traffic. And it sounds like V12 is already part of the way there with the ability to park itself along the curb and not in the way of traffic coming up from behind. And I'm stalling for time because this video isn't a lot longer. I'll just get a sip of my apple juice.
Now we're stopped. We don't need to be.
Okay, where's it going?
Well, we do need to park. Whoa!
Did you do that?
No, I didn't do that. That's awesome. All right, cut it.
Yeah, there you go. So good stuff there. I was impressed at how fast X took down the fake account made in my name. I wish there were more tools to stop it altogether, but at least the company is diligent in this regard. So that at Elon Stay Calm impersonator account is now no more. Suspended for impersonating at Musk. Stay calm, which is the verified account of Mark Anthony. Here's a tweet from Bark at Barkim Smeagol. I miss at Tesla Podcast. Me too, a lot. Like, I didn't realize how much I was going to miss Rob Maurer. But I do, a lot. I really wish he were still around putting out Tesla Daily News. It is hard to get accurate, reliable, high confidence takes on the news of the day without Rob Maurer around to do it for us. Here's one from the Limiting Factor at Limiting The. So the promotional video last week was correct. Giga Berlin is just starting with battery cell production. Andre says that the first subcomponents are being produced there and being shipped to the United States. By subcomponents, I'm not sure if he's referring to cells as subcomponents of the pack or electrode material as a subcomponent of the cell. Without knowing more details, it's hard to know how positive this is, but it is positive. Retweeting at MAIK_on_Earth. In this video, Andre Tearing is confirming that Tesla Giga Berlin is making the first subcomponents for battery cells, and they are shipping them to America. So, good stuff there from the president of Giga Berlin, Grünheide. Here's one from K10. Haha, I think this is plaguing more people lately because I totally have done this a few times. When you lose a meme in your feed because you scrolled down, but luckily you remembered who shared it, and now you're scrolling through their timeline trying to find it. Yeah. You gotta remember to save those memes when you see them, because you never know when you're going to see them again. And if you forget who posted that meme, you may never find it again. Here's another one from K10. Someone finally wrapped the Cybertruck in a gloss metallic red, and it looks awesome. It does. Yeah, that's almost an orangey red, I would call that. Yeah, very shiny metallic. Like, that's almost too reflective. You can see a reflection really easily here. See the reflection of the Cyber Quad there on the other side. So, oh no, it's not a Cyber Quad, that's a fountain. It must have been somebody else's Cyber Quad I was thinking of. Oh, it was that NFL wide receiver from last week's video. Here's one from Rohan Patel at Rohan S. Patel. Our Giga Berlin Brandenburg team sent me a long list of public facts, so I thought I'd share a few of them. I'm not going to read you this entire thing from Rohan S. Patel, but I'm so happy he's tweeting great information out there to the world where we can retweet it. So read through all this. Great stuff for the environment and great citizenship on behalf of Tesla in their local area. So good tweet there. You can pause that and read the whole thing if you want. Here's another one from Rebellionaire, The Good, the Bad, the FSD Part 12. Nope, the FSD 12, Part 1 of Farzad's at Farziness reaction to Tesla FSD V12 on the streets of the greater Austin area in Texas. Parking is still blowing our minds. So great stuff here. Go check out that 20-minute video if you want from Bradford, who is doing his cross-country trek showing off FSD Beta version 12. Here's one from Elon, now live, which it was at the time. It is now a recording of a pre-recorded all-new Model 3 Q&A session with Franz and Lars, where they go through and talk about all the new stuff in the Model 3 and how it's better than previous versions of Model 3. Here's one from the Short Shorts historian. This day in Tesla Q history, this was the last time he smiled next to a Tesla. At Mark B. Spiegel, at StanphilCap 9 years ago. If you try following this account, it has been suspended. Did that one get unsuspended? Maybe there was a way of... Oh, yeah, there was that one time, like a year of Jubilee, that Elon unsuspended everybody's account, including Mark B. Spiegel, which was suspended for a very good reason. But got their account back, I guess. He has moved his tweets to StanphilCap which is the shorthand version of Stanfield Capital, his dumb little company that he runs out of his apartment in Manhattan, with assets under management of maybe a few $1 million, or as a successful fund manager would say, 0.00 something $billion. Here's one from Viv at Battle Angel Viv, absolutely howling at the bread loaf. So I had to screenshot this article from Automotive News and share it on X. Automotive News is reporting that Apple considered buying Tesla when it was trading below a $30 billion valuation, but Tim Cook killed the idea, and later discussions with Elon didn't progress. Apple had wanted to price their 4-passenger EV, internally nicknamed the bread loaf, $35,000 below its cost of production. Ouch. That is not how you make money. Ask Rivian, ask Lucid. They're trying. It's not working for them. Prototypes are easy, production is hard, and reaching free cash flow positive is excruciating. Apple has mothballed their Project Titan, their EV program. Full article screenshots here, except for the final sentence, which did not fit. I didn't want to leave any ads on these screenshots. And the 2 screenshots were the most I could get to fit without having to screenshot just this last sentence by itself. So I just tagged it on. Apple bought the former Chrysler Proving Ground in Arizona in 2021 and is now putting the property back up for sale. So here's that article. If you didn't get a chance to read it or didn't see this tweet, you can pause and read through that whole thing. Lots of interesting little tidbits in that article. So I'll go back for a second. The bread loaf. Was good to hang out with friends at the Fallout TV series party/set. I'm a big fan of the Fallout games. Yeah, this is an obvious great idea for a movie or for a TV show. Just do Fallout. Fallout's great. I love those video games. Another one from Brian here. Your quote is misleading. Type it again in all caps, and that should fix it. What should? Well, I got to scroll to the top here to a thread begun by Brian saying, China sales are dead. No, wait. The opposite. Who's number 1 on the list of week 9 sales, February 26th through March 3rd? Tesla sold the most vehicles in that week. So you can see the counts across the top here, how many were sold each week. 9,530, and that's for the 4th straight week, and who knows how many more, because they're only showing the most recent 4 weeks. You can see what the also-rans did. None of these other vehicles were number 1. Only the Tesla Model Y was the number 1 seller in all 4 weeks. Gigafox for the animals, at Gigafox with 2 more X's at the end. Did you know that EV demand is slowing? With a very familiar looking chart. This is one of my charts. You can tell from the obnoxiously large watermark that I left in the middle of this one. Yeah, Tesla deliveries and CAGR since 2013. So if you base every year's sales against the number of vehicles Tesla sold in 2013, 22,442 vehicles, you can see what percentage CAGR that is over the shown time period. And Tesla's still over 50% on that basis. They didn't grow from 50% from here to here. They would have needed to grow by 650,000 to 1.95, and that's what the short sellers and the haters and the trolls are going to tell you. But over this time period, this 10-year time period, it was a 55% CAGR. To get from that number to this number, you need to multiply by 1.55. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. And if you don't believe me, grab your calculator and do the exercise, and it'll come out to a number very similar to this number, because 55% is rounded to the nearest percentage. Brian replied, Gojo has been telling us since 2019 that everybody who wants one already has one. If he can't be trusted, then I just don't know where to find quality advice. Low is a type of quality, right? Tagging me, so I saw it. and replied, competition is real, and we think there's real competition coming this year. You have the Audi, I'm sorry, the Jaguar e-tron. You have the Porsche e-mission. These are all amazing cars that we think are going to really pressure Tesla. Yes, Gordon Johnson really said that on live television in 2018, getting just everything wrong. There's nothing about that quote that's correct, which is why I picked it. But you can listen to that whole video if you follow this link. And that's what Brian was replying to. Your quote is misleading. Type it again in all caps. Gordon Johnson does tend to scream rather than just speak what he's saying. And I replied, one thing you can say about Gordon, he doesn't let the soundboard operator cheat him. He's going to be heard. He makes sure by speaking in a loud enough tone that no matter how much they turn him down, you're still going to be able to hear him. All right, here's another one from Sawyer. The most Cybertrucks we've seen yet in this lot. So they are lining them up straight, too, which is good to see that there's consistency on the number of Cybertrucks getting parked in the outbound delivery lot. You can see Model Ys on the left. Yes, this factory also makes Model Ys. They make both vehicles in Giga Austin. So, yeah, got to have a logistics lot if you're going to be producing a whole lot of cars and trucks. With a retweet here of Joe Tegmeyer, production of both Model Ys and Cybertrucks going very well today. Many Cybertrucks exiting the southeast corner, 100 plus Cybertrucks on the e-testing lot, and many more in the outbound lot getting loaded up early today. See more in my video later today. I don't know what an e-testing lot is, but maybe Brian or Joe or somebody will reply and tell us. Here's one from Romain Edwin, Unit Police, at Roman Edwin on X. Hate failed to kill Tesla in 2012 and 2018 and 2024. Tesla shines bright. We are Giga the future. So Romain works at Giga Berlin. And you can see the lights are back on. They have power back, and they are back at work. Here's one from Martin Vieca. We brought a Cybertruck to the Morgan Stanley TMT conference in San Francisco yesterday. People seem to like it quite a bit. Well, how could you not? Check it out. Look how great that Cybertruck looks. So good stuff there. Here's one from Sawyer Merritt. I just drove the new Model 3. Interior definitely feels more premium versus previous version. Sound system is insanely good. There are cars that are 2 to 3 times as expensive as this one that don't sound this good. I thought I wouldn't like that there are no stalks behind the steering wheel, but I got used to it almost immediately. I was especially skeptical of the turn signals directly on the steering wheel, but it surprisingly felt very natural to me. They are real buttons too, unlike the Model S X turn signals, so the feedback feels good. Rear seat screen is great, though a little too low down. The ventilated seats in the Model 3 are really good. Suspension felt softer than the previous generation, but not massively so. The new Model 3 now has 360-degree acoustic windows, and you definitely notice the cabin is quieter because of it. Overall, great experience, great job, Tesla team, on this vehicle. So more positive reviews of the Model 3 coming in. Here's the trailer for the Fallout TV show.
Hello there. I'm here to show you a wonderful place. A veritable Camelot of the nuclear age. Not made by God Almighty, but the working man.
You can be a hero by purchasing a residence in a Vault-Tec vault today. Because if the worst should happen tomorrow, the world is going to need you to build a better day after.
All right, so that's as much as I'll show you. There's a lot more. There's 2.5 more minutes to that trailer. But that's the atmosphere. Here's another one from Martin Vieca that I retweeted this morning, so we're getting close to the end of this video. It's quite staggering that so many gas car owners are worried about charging on long trips, while the overwhelming majority of Tesla owners feel exactly the opposite. This is where education through ads makes sense. So what are we looking at here? Well, it's the Bloomberg 2023 Tesla Owners Survey. They've been collecting data for a long time. On Model 3, they had a 2018. I guess it's the 2019 numbers that we're seeing here, huh? So they keep asking the same questions over and over again. So they have longitudinal data. They can show you how are these opinions changing as time passes, with the dark blue being strongly agree, the light blue being agree, and the gray being neutral. So you've got very little on these charts that's in the red or pink areas. Mostly what you're getting is agreement in the dark blue and lighter blue areas. So the supercharger network is fast enough for my needs. That hasn't changed much since 2019 to 2023, with the average score being 4.5. So halfway between agree and strongly agree, right there, 4.5. Has not moved a lot. Here's one from, let's just read. There are enough superchargers for me to get wherever I want to go. Does the supercharger network work for you? Yes, it does, and that number has been increasing over time, rising from an average of 4.27 to 4.4. That's better. Tesla superchargers are affordable. This one has gone downhill, so I think Tesla is charging more per kilowatt hour, or maybe the people who have been buying Teslas more recently have been more value conscious customers because they've been buying more Model 3s and Model Ys and less Model S and Model X vehicles. You know, back in 2019, there weren't any Model Ys yet. So a lot of Tesla owners were driving an S and X, and they had paid a lot more for them than people pay these days for a 3 or a Y. The EV lifestyle. Tesla owners compare the convenience of charging to fueling up a gas car. Ease of charging average 4.9. That is strong, folks. There's almost no gray or pink or red here. It's very easy to charge your Tesla. Time spent charging, satisfied, very satisfied, or satisfied are the predominant answers here. Availability of fast chargers on long drives and vehicle range between charges, also very respectable. All of these more than a 4.5, or at or more than 4.5. All right, another one from Sawyer. I spoke in person today with a couple of people who work at a local Tesla store. One of them has been working there for 7 years. I asked them what their number one concern is that they hear from people who walk in. They said range anxiety. They added that people feel they need 500 miles of range. What? No, you don't. 500 miles of range is more range than you need. Like, I'm preaching to the choir. I'm preaching to my subscribers in this video. But the way that I like to explain it to folks is, how many days per year do you drive more than 5 hours in a day? Is it 2 days a year? Is it 0 days a year? Is it 4 days a year? All right, fine. So on those 2 or 3 or 4 days a year, how often do you stop and get out? Walk the dog, stop for coffee, stop to eat a meal, a lunch or a dinner? A couple of times at least, right, on that long trip. So when you drive a Tesla and it's electric, at those times when you were going to stop anyway, you stop where there's a supercharger and you plug in. And then you eat, you grab your coffee, you walk the dog, you breathe, you walk around for a bit, stretch your legs, get back in the car, your car's charged, you're ready to keep going, right? You do not need 500 miles of range. The average gas car doesn't have anywhere near that range, and chargers, especially in urban areas, are commonplace. Most people just charge at home anyway. That's me. I've only ever charged my Tesla at a supercharger once, and that was on the way back from a Tesla service center where they hadn't recharged my Tesla for me. So they gave it back to me with not enough charge to drive home. Every other time I've charged my Tesla, it has been in my own garage with the mobile connector that it came with. They also said many people think a Tesla's starting price is $30,000 to $50,000 higher than it actually is. Yeah, there's a lot of misinformation out there, and that's what Tesla would be able to counter with effective advertising. In time, it is always clear who the morons are. What is Omar replying to here? Well, it's a thread begun by our friend Motorhead Brad Munkin. Watching two morons discuss why a bubble isn't a bubble is priceless. Who are the two morons? Well, it's Jason DeBolt and WholeMars Catalog here. Before Tesla runs, all the morons must sell their shares, but runs meaning runs higher in value, so that the morons can later complain that they sold at the wrong time and that it went up without them. Jason says, yes, that's generally the pattern. You wait for the paper-handed nincompoops to sell their shares, and then the stock will run higher. So I found a quote applicable to this situation. What a moron. We need him to sell us his shares before Tesla delists, though. The fraud hiding behind the fake name Brad Munkin in July of 2019. Replying to Mark at Mark_MTV3, another obviously long-time Tesla short seller, hater, critic, troll, retweeting a screenshot of Steve Jobs' ghost here, just pointing out that in the first half of 2018, Tesla was burning cash, and in the first half of 2019, Tesla was adding cash. This lame little analysis. Yeah, that was the quote from Motorhead Brad Munkin. What a moron. We need him to sell us his shares before #Tesla delists. He thought nobody would be able to buy or sell Tesla shares because the company would go bankrupt and then there would be no more buying or selling of shares in the company. In time, it is always clear who the morons are. All right. What do we got next? It's AI Foreverman. Can't wait to watch all of the Tesla doesn't need to advertise people flip-flop over. Legit can't wait, long overdue, because, yeah, what Martin is saying here is Tesla should be advertising. This is where education through ads makes sense. Well, yeah, it does. Tesla should be doing more advertising so that more people know that Teslas are great vehicles and that they're affordable and that they're safe and that they have the best technology in them and that they can afford to buy one, and they have the best total cost of ownership over their lifetime compared to comparable ICE vehicles. And the last tweet that I liked this week was also a retweet of Martin from your talker at FreshJiva. None of you anti-advertising people better have liked this tweet. And so you know where I stand on the issue. I was already on the record saying Tesla needed to do more advertising. And we'll do as we always do, check back in with Loki, who is hiding behind his big, soft, lammy blanket in Loki's spot. And I will thank you, as I normally do at this point in the program, and say thank you for being a subscriber of mine. I appreciate your support. And I always shout out my two executive producers, as I did during this video, Kathy Kitchler and Rebellionaire.com, and I'll see you in the next one.